my God, yes.
That's the sound of me.
Right?
A puddle on my desk.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
The B-Team.
My name is Brady.
And I am Carl.
Oh my God.
That sounded weird.
It sounded, yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
That would be difficult to maintain.
Yeah, maybe leave that voice. Maybe leave that voice in the bedroom and off the podcast.
That's a bedroom voice? That's kind of creepy for the bedroom. What do you do in the bedroom?
Sleep. Okay. Hello and welcome to Ahsoka episode 4, Fallen Jedi. Too many Fallens in the Star Wars universe. Man. Can we just skip forward and talk about the last 90 seconds and just do away with the rest of this episode? I mean, listen, the rest of the episode is amazing, but I cannot wait to get to the end of this episode. And
I don't know. The first 10 minutes is pretty good.
The whole thing is great.
The middle 10 minutes is pretty. The last, it's pretty freaking awesome.
So the episode starts, and we're right where we left off, aboard the ship. What's the name of the ship?
Fulcrum.
The Fulcrum? Okay,
I think so.
So we're aboard the. It's the one from Rebels
too. I don't know.
What is Ahsoka's ship?
It's a T6 shuttle.
Yeah.
Debuted in Clone Wars.
Called T61974. It is.
I don't think it has.
Doesn't have a name. No, it's just the T61974.
Yeah, because I think the name Fulcrum that Sabine uses here when she's trying to contact Hera is the code name that Ahsoka uses in Rebels.
Right.
But it's not. So I guess, I don't know.
Okay, so we start off and we're aboard Ahsoka's ship, and there's still some repairs that need to be done, and Hu Yang is diligently working away at that.
Yeah,
and and Sabine is trying to get through to Hera, and that's a no-go. Not happening.
Yeah.
And so Sabine leaves the ship where Ahsoka is standing outside, and
they have a tough conversation.
They have a very tough conversation. Why don't you tell us about that tough conversation, Carl?
Well, Ahsoka has pretty much come to the realization that they might not have time or be able to take the map off-world, but their enemies do have that ability. So given the chance, if they get their hands on it or get close to it, they need to destroy it, which would completely nullify their chances of getting to Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
Which is one of the whole reasons why Sabine has joined this little charade.
Yeah, so basically the instruction from the master here is stopping the enemy and preventing Thrawn's return. Yeah, takes priority over everything else.
Yeah. He's too great a threat.
Yeah, we can't risk Thrawn's return just for the chance at rescuing Ezra. And Sabine doesn't take super kindly to that.
Yeah, she's adamant that it won't come to that.
Yeah. And Ahsoka asks her, Sabine, can I count on you? Right? Like, Ahsoka's now worried that Sabine is going to do something reckless and not stick to the plan. And so she says, can I count on you? And Sabine says,
stick to her plan.
yes, right. Sabine says, yeah, of course you can. You can. And Ahsoka, I don't think, fully buys that, somewhat understandably. And so Hu Yang comes out and says, like, hey, is everything okay out here? And Ahsoka kind of brushes him off and is like, and goes back into the ship. And Hu Yang proceeds to open up an outside panel so that he can, continue working away. Then we meet up with Shin and Baylin, and they're just kind of sort of going over, they're just kind of rehashing what went on at the end of the first one of like, hey, okay, we know where they are, and it's time for you guys to go move in and take them. And he's sending both Shin and the Inquisitor to go take them down. So that's that potentially spells bigger trouble for us than simply just Shin. Shin seems relatively incompetent. I'm thinking the Inquisitor is maybe a bigger threat than she is.
Yeah. Have you how close do you follow like any kind of like theory crafting on these shows?
Not at all. Not even a little.
So you played The Force Unleashed and are a big fan of those video games.
Forever ago, yeah.
Do you remember the name of the character?
Of course. Not only because it's a sick name, but because it's a very well-crafted callback to Star Wars history.
And what is it?
Starkiller.
His actual name.
Oh, no.
It is Galen Merrick.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know have you caught what the name of this Inquisitor is?
No.
Marok. It's
spelled the
differently.
same?
Spelled differently.
Okay.
Galen Merrick is Marek. Marok is Marrok. But they sound similar. Very similar. On top of that,
similar roles with it, like it.
He looks very similar to when he plays Lord when like in the games. If you choose there's a point where you can choose dark side, light side. If you choose dark side, there's DLC in which you play Lord Starkiller, Darth Vader's apprentice. In this weird arm. Well, you're no longer Darth Vader's apprentice. You're Palpatine's apprentice. You take Darth Vader's place. Palpatine puts you in armor, Sith armor, and that armor looks very similar to this armor. Not identical, but similar. There's a lot of similarities to it. Some people have kind of like paired the voicing from the game and this character. And it's not identical, but it's the same. So a lot of people have been theory crafting that this is Dave Filoni's way of introducing or kind of bringing this beloved character
right,
kind of half-heartedly into canon without bringing him, because you can't
not canonizing the games, because there would be too many.
Well, and you can't canonize Galen Merrick for true to begin with. He's too powerful.
Oh, yeah.
He's almost more power. He's as or more powerful than Vader. Like, he's in one of the games, you literally stop a Star Destroyer from leaving the orbit of the orbit of a planet that you're on. Like, you're on the ground and you're using the Force to stop a Star Destroyer from leaving. Not only do you stop it, you drag it into the ground. You cause it to crash. Like, Galen Merrick is an OP Force user.
Yeah.
Right. So you cannot bring him into the Star Wars canon for true. But you can kind of like wink and a nod to fans. Like, I see you, right? So a lot of people are theorizing that this is Dave Filoni's way of saying, wink, nod. Here, I see you. I know what you want. I can't give it to you, but here's a little something to wet your palate.
Right. And I just looked up who was playing Marok, and it's Paul Darnell, some guy named Paul Darnell.
Yeah, it's not the guy who does Star Trek.
I was. Can you imagine if it was Sam Witwer, and that would be the official, like, that'd be confirmation. That'd be all the confirmation anyone would need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, spoiler for 10 minutes from now, but like, this guy dies. So
yes. Yeah.
Again, it's not him.
So then we have the title card, and we cut back to Hu Yang working away at the ship, and the enemy forces approach.
They're creeping in.
They're creeping in, boy. And yeah, and they kind of, I don't know. We cut to a conversation between Ahsoka and Sabine. It's kind of more of the same, but essentially Sabine is asking, like, are there times where you should, are there times where you, why am I struggling to word this? Like, Ahsoka is saying, look, I know how much this all means to you, but sometimes we kind of have to just do what's right instead of do what it is that we want. Right?
Yeah.
We need to put the greater good above our desires.
Yeah.
And Sabine
we need to
says,
make the same sacrifice that Ezra made here.
yeah. And Sabine says, do you actually believe that? And Ahsoka says, yeah, like, when the stakes are high enough, absolutely. And so we cut back out to Hu Yang working away at the ship as our dudes arrive. He makes some comment about, like, oh yeah, okay, finally making some progress, which is sort of like a funny ironic, because all the shit's about to get effed up. And he can kind of not sense in the sense of like the Force, but like he hears some noises. He has some sensors, and he knows something's coming. And he gets in a fist fight with like an assassin droid. Yeah. And
droids, yeah.
And ultimately he ends up in some trouble here, but he kind of holds his own, right? Like, he is he's designed to help train in combat is one of his functions. And so he knows what he's doing. And he gets in a fun little fist fight, which is very entertaining.
Very fun because he uses his extra hands.
Yes. And it kind of seems like, okay, like, he's not super worried about it until he sees there's a bunch of other enemies approaching. And he knows, okay, I cannot manage this on my own. And so he uses one of his extra arms to knock out the power to the ship. And Sabine says, oh, it looks like
screwed it up.
Hu Yang effed up, right? But Ahsoka knows better. Ahsoka says, no, he wouldn't, right? Like, that's not what's going on here. And immediately ignites her lightsabers and goes running out of the ship. Sabine throws on her helmet and follows. And yeah, they have a little ass kicking party here. And it's a lot of fun. Like, I don't know. It's just so good to have lightsabers back on the screen, you know?
Yeah.
And like deflecting blaster hits and like
using the Force
using the Force,
people from getting you.
Like,
this is a fun little fight. Like, it's very quick, but like,
yes,
a lot of really cool stuff happens, and that she's about to get shot, so she like moves one of the opponents in between her and the person that's going to shoot her, and Sabine takes advantage of that to take out the other guy, and
uses her grapple to like pull a guy in, and then Ahsoka slices him, like you know. So the fight ends, and Hu Yang gets back up and looks at the new damage to the ship, and he's like, okay, well, it's gonna set us back a little bit. Ahsoka instructs him to prioritize fixing the transmitter because they need to get in touch with Hera as soon as possible. And in a really fun kind of moment, which sort of shows that Hu Yang is in touch with some of the bickerings and tensions that are going on. Hu Yang, as Ahsoka and Sabine are walking away to go, kick some ass and accomplish their mission, Hu Yang says, "Can I make a request of both of you?" And Ahsoka turns around and asks what it is, and he says, "Stay together. You were always better that way, in my opinion." Which is just fun. Like, it's a fun, like,
I think it's like insightful too, in that he just knows that they work well together, and it'll increase their chances of survival, and like he cares for them both, and
they work well together more than maybe they both are in tune to right now. Right? Yeah. Like he understands the importance of them working together, and maybe they don't. So then we cut back to Hera, and she's aboard her ship, and she's like, one of the admirals, captains, ships, whatever he is, walks up to him and says, "Hey, sup, home slice?" And she's like, "Look, I need you to keep an eye on things while I'm gone." And he's like, "Gone?
You can't leave.
What you playing at?" And she's like, we're going. I'm gonna go do this. And he's like, but the council said no. And she's kind of like, well,
stop me.
Anyway, see you later. Right? Like, she just, and so Hera gets aboard her ship, and she's not alone. She's bringing Kiddo with her.
Yeah, we did see him last episode briefly.
Yes, and Chopper is coming along too.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Can't leave Chopper out of this.
Yeah. So Chopper does his little chattering that he does. And it's cute. He's like, she tells him to buckle up, and the kid's like, well, do I have to? And she kind of pulls rank. She's
I'm
like,
Mom, you have to listen.
I'm Mom and a general. When you're a general, then, until you're a general, buckle up. And so they buckle up, and then they head out with all the other nice little X-Wings that are coming along with them, abandoning this big, beautiful fleet. Like, good for them. We're not super post-Empire, and we've got a nice little, well intact fleet.
We have found out through, not this show, I think it was one of the Mandalorian shows, that the Republic, I guess we did kind of find out about it a little bit in this show from 2 episodes ago, but they are like
repurposing.
They're tearing down the military. Like, they're tearing apart the Empire's military, but like
our own too.
The Republic itself is demilitarizing as well.
Yeah. I think we dealt with that in Andor a bunch.
Yeah, right. Yes. The idea of the Empire is that Andor.
Right,
Andor
no, that wouldn't make sense. No, it was Mando. It was Mando season 1.
Yeah, the idea of the Empire is that they will have a very minimal military force, and will deal with everything diplomatically, because everything goes well diplomatically.
Yeah. So then, as we're leaving, we see a familiar face, Star Wars' new Wedge Antilles, for some reason. Carson Teva shows up.
I like this guy.
Of course, we've seen in Mandalorian. We saw him in Book of Boba Fett, and now
Kim's Convenience.
here Kim's Convenience, and now he's here in Ahsoka. I don't know. I'm kind of over him. I think he's fun. He's a good character, but he's just kind of like always there now. And I'm like, is this the new C-3PO R2-D2?
I think he's great. Like, this is like this is Dave Filoni finding somebody who truly loves Star Wars and continuing to give them work. Like, this is the same reason Sam Witwer continues to have work within Star Wars is why this guy continues to pop up.
Sure.
Right? Like, this guy is a huge Star Wars nut, and somehow he got a bit part in Mandalorian, and then it's kind of his enthusiasm for things Star Wars because he just loves the universe authentically and not because he's got a job. Like, some actors may or may not appeal to their fans,
right?
About like his enthusiasm is authentic, and then like Dave Filoni's kind of like he honors that. Like, if you're an actor and you have authentic enthusiasm for this world, he's like, okay, you can continue working for us as long as you want.
Yes.
And that's what this is. And I don't have a problem with it. I think the character is fun.
Yeah. He's the one that we saw. He's the one that we saw have a conversation with Grief. Or, yeah.
I don't need a Carson TV show. Please don't give me a Carson TV show or a movie.
He was also the one in the bar with Zeb.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we saw that. He is a big Star Wars fan. I saw something about how he by his request, his costume is specifically referenced and inspired by Biggs Darklighter, right? Like, he wanted to pay
it's
homage.
Actually, I could be mistaken here, but I believe I've heard him talk about how it's almost identical to his own personal cosplay outfit. Oh,
really? That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. So he shows up and, he kind of gives his little words of caution. He's like, yeah, this might be treason. Like, we're risking a lot here. But then also kind of like affirms that you're in charge. For the record, I'm with you. We're doing this. Just so you know, this is pretty stupid.
Yeah, this is dumb. I get the risks. I hope you understand the risks.
But I'm faithful. I'm loyal to you. So
yeah,
let's go kick some ass.
Yeah, I know the bureaucracy thing sucks because I've dealt with it.
Yes. So then we switch back to Shin and Baylan, and they're kind of talking about the key, the Apple of Eden still. And they think maybe that Baylan thinks that some calculations are off and that this isn't going to go over as planned. And Morgan Elsbeth kind of says, like, have faith. And in a very important, what I think is a very important line that just kind of happens and they don't make a big deal out of it. Baylan says, faith? I lost faith a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And this isn't the first time that, like, Baylan seems very heavy on referencing his Jedi days and his experiences in the Jedi Temple. Now, obviously, Ray Stevenson has passed away, and so we're not going to see this character past season 1 of this show.
Yeah, we could if they recast.
Yeah, true. But I'm not convinced yet. I think Shin is dead meat. Shin's going to die. And Morgan Elsbeth is either getting locked up or is getting killed. And I don't know, like, yes, then it makes continuity, or not continuity, but it just makes, like, the universe a little bit more of a mess because you can never have because of the way Star Wars is set up, you can never have very many light side Force user, lightsaber wielding people at any given point, because it kind of throws off our understanding of where the galaxy is at. Right? We've already done that by having Ahsoka exist in the time that she does. And
you
so,
mentioned this in a past episode, because it's like I think it was episode 1 or episode 2 of this, where you were talking about how Obi-Wan tells Anakin or Yoda as Force Ghost,
the last hope.
That boy was our last hope. Oh no, there is another.
There is another.
Yeah. So, and sometime after that, it must have been like a breakdown video or something I was watching. They did like this quick, really fast scrawl of names. Like, these are the people alive at the time, at the time of the original trilogy, Jedi that we know were alive. It's like, and it's a pretty substantial list.
Sure. Yeah.
And it got me thinking about your comment and where it was stemming from and stuff. And I don't think that Obi-Wan and Yoda are wrong. Like, it kind of muddies the. I will kind of give you some credit that, yeah, it does kind of muddy the waters a bit. Like, but there are more Jedi that can deal with this issue, right?
Right.
Yes, but can they deal with with like, are they capable of handling Darth Vader, who's killed every Jedi he's ever come up against?
Right. One of the things it comes down to is, does this require Skywalker blood?
Yeah.
Does this require the blood that was conceived of by the Force?
Yeah. And I think in terms of the narrative of Star Wars, it doesn't matter how many Jedi are alive at the time. The only beings that are capable of ending the reign of Vader and Sidious are Luke or Leia.
Right. But then after that, we also need to be careful, because it does very much feel like there is a period of time right around the time that's happening now, presumably, that Luke is off somewhere training up
building
a new
temple.
era. Yeah. Training up a new and young, like, I'm guessing maybe right around this point, or very shortly soon after, or maybe a couple years ago at this point, a young Ben Solo has been born. And like, that's kind of where we're at. But then it also very much feels like once The Force Awakens comes, it's really just like, Rey is clearly Force sensitive, but as far as like trained Jedi, it's really just Luke hiding out on Ahch-To. Like, that's kind of it. And if Luke doesn't pass the torch on to Rey, then everything dies out and it's gone.
Yeah. Presumably. I would say that that's a big presumably.
So all that to say, I think,
hang on. So, like, that's a presumption based on the information the films gave us. Which, this is a lot of our years, not Star Wars years later. We've come to the understanding that, Obi-Wan and Yoda weren't the only ones that survived Order 66.
Right.
Just because the movies tell us that Skywalker's Jedi Academy, everybody died, we know that doesn't mean that all the Jedi are dead. Like,
maybe all the Jedi that were there at the time.
20 years from now, Disney Star Wars could be writing stories about these Jedi that were alive when, like, Ahsoka's an old lady doing her own thing, because she's never really a Jedi, She's not really
Right.
a Jedi right now, right? Like she walked away from the Order,
Right.
So, yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
yeah. And what is
that's
it like? And now
It's
in
a devil's
current,
advocate comment, but
now in current Star Wars, like post Rise of Skywalker, what does Jedi even mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like what a Jedi has been changed. Anyways, all that to say, I believe Baylan probably doesn't make it out alive from the end of this series. But that doesn't mean that I don't think there might be a redemptive story arc for him.
yeah, he definitely seems
Or some big internal conflict at least.
He's not Sith. He's not
No.
even I would be hesitant to even call him a dark Jedi.
He's a Force-sensitive, lightsaber-wielding Empire sympathizer.
I don't even think he's an Empire sympathizer. I think he sees the return of Thrawn as a means to an end to rebuild the Jedi Order in his own kind of, not his own image, but like the way he perceives it should be rebuilt. Right? He needs power and he needs influence to rebuild is the way he sees it.
Right.
That's what I feel from the character as I've been watching his character unfold. Right? There is corruption there, but I don't believe it's malicious corruption. I believe it's he wanting to do good by any means necessary.
Right.
Right? Like he's not fully fallen to the dark side.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about the whole wanting to rebuild the Jedi thing, simply because of his one, and I could be wrong, but simply because of his one line at the beginning of the first episode where he's like, "We are no Jedi." So he clearly, like, I think it goes
Jedi ways though, because he's got a Padawan. The Padawan's got the braid still. Like, he's respecting Jedi traditions to an extent.
Well, unless he's just seeing this as his version of the rule of two.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, jumping back to the episode.
Fight in the forest. Fight in the forest.
Yeah, so basically, Baylan makes another comment about witchcraft. He's really not big on witches. And then
Dathomirians witches are creepy.
creepy. And then we have a fight in the forest.
Yeah.
Sort of a little showdown, and it's cool. It's cool to see a lightsaber wielding Mandalorian armor wearing person.
Yeah.
Because I've voiced it. I'm sick of the whole fetish that we all have right now with Mandalorian armor. Like I'm so over it. I'm so freaking done with it. But lightsabers do a lot of heavy lifting for my frustration. And so I'm all for that. And so yeah, Ahsoka sort of splits off and fights the Inquisitor, yielding a beautiful Inquisitor-style double-bladed lightsaber that we saw on the ship facility thing.
We've seen them a number of times, yeah.
Corellia.
I've never been a fan of these things.
The double-bladed?
The
one with
not the double-bladed, the Inquisitor double-bladed, because like the handle's so small. I like the way it like spins on its own, and they can like just kind of hold it there as it spins. I think that's cool, but the handle's so small, it looks like it'd be awkward.
Do you know what the spinning thing has always reminded me of?
A helicopter?
No. It has reminded me, or has made me think of, it makes me think that is a lightsaber hilt designed for someone who needs it because they're not skilled enough in their lightsaber technique and in the Force to be able to do that without an auto spinning hilt.
Right.
Right. But so anyways, Sabine and Shin duel it out, and Ahsoka and the Inquisitor duel it out. Yeah. We cut sort of rapidly back and forth here between the fight that's going on and what Baleen and Morgan are up to. And they're like, things are well underway. This is the moment. Stuff is happening. The little light beam is shooting to indicate that something is going on in a very Star Wars-y, sci-fi looking kind of way. And yeah, then we get to see the really cool spinning, and it's kind of like he just holds it out in front of him, almost like he's like showing off, like, look what my lightsaber does. And Ahsoka's like, that's cool, look what my lightsaber does, and then cuts him in half.
Yeah, this is a very similar scene to what we got in the Visions, the last episode of Visions.
Right. Yes.
Where she easily dispatches this time she has her own lightsaber, so she doesn't need to take it from the Inquisitor, but she very easily dispatches him.
So and when she kills him, maybe this is a Star Wars lore thing that I don't know about, but what the hell happens? He like gyrates a little bit and then splits open and then smokes away.
So this happened in Visions too, with the guy in Visions. Do you remember that?
No.
Like he kind of smokes out too. His body crumples into a pile of clothes.
Was Visions the like different animation style one?
It was similar to the. Was it similar to? It wasn't Clone Wars. Yeah, it was kind of Clone Wars style.
Where each okay. What's the one where each? No, isn't it the one where each episode there's a different. Visions is the one where each episode there's a different animation style.
Oh, that's right.
You're thinking Tales of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Tales
of the Jedi.
Tales of the Jedi. Because I didn't watch Visions. I did watch Tales of the Jedi, and I just don't quite remember this.
Yeah. So there was like that guy with like a bird style mask helmet, and Ahsoka takes his lightsaber and cuts him in half, and smoke escapes him and he falls down into a crumpled mess of clothes, essentially. And that was weird. I wasn't sure what was going on with that. I thought maybe that's his species or something. And then this happened. I was like, oh, that's similar to that. And then one of the breakdown videos I watched kind of shed light on it. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. This is Dathomir witch magic. This is force magic.
Oh, yeah.
So if I didn't remember it till I watched the breakdown. So, but do you remember watching the Clone Wars and Darth Maul's brother gets brought back to life with Dathomirian witch magic?
The witch magic, yeah.
Right? And force witch magic. It's the force, but it's magic. But when he dies later on, the same thing happens. Like an essence of green smoky mist escapes his body.
Right. Okay.
And even we see it in the more recent Star Wars games, Fallen Order.
Right.
When you're on Dathomir fighting the risen dead, they kind of die in some greeny smoky stuff.
Right. Okay.
So this is
the live action
a
version of that kind of.
Yeah, this is potentially a former Inquisitor. We don't know which one. We never find out. That this witch, what's her name again? Morgan
Elsbeth, yeah.
Yeah, that Morgan has brought back to life using force magic that the Dathomirian witches know to fight for her cause and help her out.
Right.
So
yeah.
That is like having that kind of like shown to me, like kind of brought to light. I was like, oh, that's exactly what this is. Like, there's no other explanation now. Yeah. So, but it's really kind of it. Yeah. If all you're watching is live action stuff, this is going to go way over your head.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to completely miss it. You're going to be like, why is he smoking? What? Where's that dust coming from?
Yeah.
Right? But
so then we cut back to Morgan and Balin, and Morgan's going to take off and go do some stuff, and basically just tells Balin, which is just a plot device in order to get Balin alone with the key so that he can have a solo confrontation with Ahsoka.
yeah.
Ahsoka arrives, and there's some fun exchanging of words here where Balin is trying to get into Ahsoka's head and mess with her. And basically that goes down like, so I'm actually just going to read it word for word because I think it's really clever writing here, except for the one thing that Ahsoka says is a little, I don't know, a little cliche. But Balin says, Anakin spoke highly of you. And Ahsoka, in the very most cliche thing she could have said here, is interesting. He never mentioned you. And it's just like, okay, like that's, I don't know. That's always the response to, oh, I've heard a lot about you. Oh, funny. I've never heard of you type of thing.
But Balin's response to that is actually really telling to why.
Yeah, Balin says, everyone in the Order knew Anakin Skywalker. Few would live to see what he became. And then he says, that surely must have left a mark. Is that why you walked away? Abandoned him? And so, yeah, he's just trying to get in her head. Like, he's trying to
under the skin,
play mind games with her. And so then they get ready to duel. They're ready to throw down, and because Ahsoka says, I'm not here to discuss my past. And they throw back a couple of very Shakespearean lines to each other. And then she takes her lightsaber out, and he takes his out, and we have a little have-at-it fight, which ultimately ends in Ahsoka getting thrown off a cliff, right? Sabine shows up, and Sabine has hands on the apple, and Ahsoka instructs, commands, orders Sabine to destroy it. And Sabine hesitates and struggles and don't want to do it. And so, in a pretty swift fighting move, Balin throws Ahsoka off the cliff and begins to work his mind screw magic again, where he's getting into Sabine's head and basically convinces her that they have the same goals and that in him achieving what he wants to achieve, she will achieve what she wants to achieve in getting back Ezra.
He does something interesting here too. Like, after Ahsoka goes over the cliff, he pauses and closes his eyes and kind of takes a moment to assess her emotional state, like almost kind of dive into her mind. But he doesn't use the Force to manipulate her. He just uses like the facts of the situation and kind of charms her. Like, look, we want the same thing. Like, he just uses the facts and charm to, and makes her a promise. And this is again
he says,
why I feel
give you
like
my word.
I feel like he's more Jedi than kind of dark Sith.
Yeah, because
Jedi.
That's interesting, right? Because basically his gist is that he's her only choice in like they have to work together, and that if she destroys
I want to give
it,
you what you want.
and that if she destroys it, then they'll never. And he kind of calls her bluff. He tells her, he's like, destroy it, go ahead, right? But then you'll never see Ezra again. And asks for him to hand it over to her and says, I want to help you. I give you my word. And when he first says that, you wouldn't be crazy to doubt that he means it. Right? Like, I don't know, he's a bad guy. So, he's lying to her. He's using the dark side of the Force, and he's ruled by temptation and lust for power, and he's full of shit. And immediately after Sabine gives over the apple, which we all knew she was going to do, Shin comes in from behind and starts choking Sabine, and we're like, okay, yep, there it is. Until Baylan orders her to stop and says, I gave her my word, and unlike her master, I intend to keep it. I'm going to keep it. Interesting. Really interesting.
And this scene just kind of locks in for me that he wants to do good by the galaxy, but he's going to do it by any means necessary. And for him, that means he needs power and he needs Thrawn, and he's going to make a deal with the devil to get it.
Yeah.
To do good.
So then we cut to Hera as they're coming through the shuttle, or coming through hyperspace and arriving in the system where all this is going down.
Yeah.
And they're able to
know what's going on.
Yeah, they're able to communicate with Hu Yang. Right. It's so hard. I don't know.
It's a weird name.
Who is able to update them on the situation and say that there's this massive hyperdrive engine that needs to not be allowed to take off, essentially. Yeah. And we're seeing at the same time that it's ready to go. We now have our coordinates. We're ready to take off. And then Baylan destroys the map so that no one else can follow them. Yeah, we know where we're going.
It takes a lot for that lightsaber to cut through it.
Sure does. Yeah. Well, it's witchy,
he's holding his lightsaber right on it for a good 2 or 3 seconds before it cuts in half.
Yeah. And so they're ready to take off. Here we go. And the X-Wings are kind of headed into fighting position because they're like, okay, well, we need to prevent this thing from taking off. And it takes off and kind of leaves like a big energy blast behind it that sends all the X-Wings either A, destroyed, or B, kind of tumbling aimlessly off course. Yeah.
I got, when they realize it's going to jump and that they're going to jump whether they're in the way or not. Did you get the same vibes I got? Did you get
Last Jedi?
Was it Last Jedi? Yeah, Last Jedi vibes.
Yeah, where Admiral Holder.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There's going to be at least one X-Wing get torn in half. But I guess because they went through the center of it and not... Well, I guess one X-Wing did go down. But they went through the center of the ring, so the ring didn't hit them. But it did cause them to kind of fly and go crazy.
So then we cut back to Hu Yang, who's trying to get in touch with Ahsoka. And we see that Ahsoka, we kind of glaze over the edge of the cliff to see Ahsoka, I don't know, kind of laying on the water, but then, like, this may be a dream sequence. I think it's a dream sequence because...
What? No.
What?
This isn't a dream sequence.
Then how did she get there?
This is a Rebels thing. This is the world between worlds.
Okay, so how does she get there? Because she's simply just thrown off the cliff. So why is she now there?
So, yeah, that I don't know. Like, why is she in the world between worlds? I don't know. But this is, without a doubt, the world between worlds.
For sure. No, I know that. But I was thinking she was just imagining it. She's just dreaming it.
Yeah. So I don't know how, like, the Force brought her here is the only thing I can imagine.
Okay. For some reason.
For what reason? And maybe we find that out next episode.
Right.
She hears a voice and she turns around.
So, wait. So she's standing there on this, like, the Rainbow Bridge
place that's
from
familiar to her.
the Bifrost, and we hear, "Hello, Snips."
Yeah.
Oh.
Not only that, we turn around and he's
and
in.
she says, yeah. So she says, "Master," and we hear him say, "I was wondering." What's he say? Hang on. I didn't expect to see you so soon. And she turns around, and there is Hayden Christensen, a little bit de-aged and a little jankily de-aged, I will submit. But there's Anakin Skywalker, and she says, "Anakin?"
in the outfit he wore in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes. Yeah. Which, so, with the same hairstyle.
But then,
like the Jedi mullet.
Just before we fade to black,
I mean, he smiles.
Darth Vader's theme song plays.
The Imperial March, yes. Now, so, and this is me not knowing, I have so many things to say. Okay. This is me not knowing much about the lore of the World Between Worlds, I guess. Is this, like, what is this? What am I seeing? Is this Anakin Skywalker from a different point in time because of some sort of weird hoodoo magic? Is this not Anakin Skywalker and this place is just messing with her head? Or is this, although he doesn't look Force ghosty because they're in this place where he doesn't need to appear as a Force ghost, is this the Anakin that has now been canonized as how he exists forevermore after being killed by Vader? Because we see him appear on Endor and alongside Yoda and alongside Obi-Wan, and he's Hayden Christensen. Like, this is what he looks like now. So what is this? What am I seeing?
So the World Between Worlds is like a Force nexus. Like, it connects the Force described as by Obi-Wan in A New Hope is the Force binds us, it connects us, it's like brings everything together and makes everything exist or whatever. Right? That's my abbreviated version of what he says. So this is kind of this weird kind of Force nexus where all time and space are connected. And in Rebels, we only ended up there once. Ezra Bridger ended up there through a Jedi at a Jedi temple on his home planet, the planet we first met Sabine on in this show.
Lothal.
Lothal, thank you. On Lothal. And it took, like, when he entered, the way he just kind of a quick kind of breakdown how that happened was the Empire was trying to gain access to this because Big Baddie, your favorite Star Wars character of all time, the Emperor, wanted access to this. He knew about it. And the way Ezra gained access is they kind of snuck into the base. The Imperials had the temples they were uncovering it. And there was a mural of the father and the daughter and the son. The father being the balance of the Force, the daughter being the light side of the Force, the son being dark side of Force. This whole thing, that whole thing is another story altogether that was done in Star Wars Clone Wars, where Ahsoka essentially has taken on the essence of the daughter, by being saved by her. Wow, I'm running a rambling story here. But
sure are.
The mural, essentially Ezra had to using the Force, had to manipulate the mural to kind of have their hands all overlap. And then it opened up this Nexus portal and he stepped into it and he ended up in this world. And through a portal in this world, he was actually able to save Ahsoka from death by the hands of Darth Vader. And so Ahsoka's been here before. She recognizes this place. She can't not. How she ends up here now is kind of a mystery, right? Like the Force has brought her here somehow. My assumption is that it's got something to do with her having the essence of the daughter of the light side of the Force in her. Or maybe she was brought here by Anakin's Force ghost, and this is Anakin's Force ghost. It just appears real, like an actual human in this realm. I don't know. We'll find out next episode.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, is that this is actually Anakin.
Yeah.
That this is Anakin as he is one with the Force now that he's passed on.
Yeah.
And because she's in his realm versus him visiting her realm, the realm of the living or the world or whatever, that he doesn't look Force ghosty because he's not having to project himself into that realm. This is just how he exists now. This is like Jedi heaven, essentially. This is where they all end up when they've transformed into the Force.
It's that. Like he's having to project himself there somehow as well. Just like they project themselves to people who are living. But here his projection seems real.
Okay.
But yeah. I have had one issue with this series so far. And now that we're talking a lot about Ahsoka and we brought up the daughter and stuff again. In the Clone Wars, once she's kind of saved by the daughter and her essence or whatever is kind of now part of who Ahsoka is and her character, she's kind of followed around, and you see it periodically, not all the time, but you see her periodically. She's followed around by a Morai, which is like a little owl creature who followed the daughter around through that whole story arc. Kind of symbolic of like, okay, the Morai is now following Ahsoka because the daughter now lives through Ahsoka kind of idea.
Right. Okay.
We haven't seen a Morai once in this show.
Right. Okay.
Like, and it's not a game breaker for me, a deal breaker, but like looking back at the last 4 episodes, there's definitely been some opportunities where they could have had just like a Morai kind of hanging out on top of the edge of a building or something as Ahsoka walks by at the edge of the frame or something, like, you know what I mean?
I mean, maybe there has been,
but if there is, I've missed it, and so has every breakdown video I've watched.
Right. Okay.
So
So the one last thing I'll say is I do love that we are now in an era of Star Wars where we're seeing prequel cast members return. Like, it makes me really happy that Hayden Christensen is back and such a big part of Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Because there was a long period of time where there was just so much hate for the prequels that it seemed like maybe a lot of those cast members wouldn't even want to have anything to do with it again. Like, it was, you know, they were kind of shit on for the art that they had made. And I wonder what's causing that. And one theory I have is that, like, now that so many people, and I disagree with this immensely, but now that so many people hate on the sequel trilogy, I'm wondering if it's like people are seeing the prequel trilogy in a new light now, where they're like, oh, you know what?
For something.
It's not so bad. Yeah, I don't know. But it makes me super happy. It makes me super happy that
I never hated on the prequels, but I did see some of their flaws.
Well, for sure. Of course. Right. Yeah. I mean, I can see some flaws in the original trilogy, which will piss some people off, but it is what it is. Yeah.
But this is cool. I'm excited to see what happens here. It is pretty dope.
It's so exciting.
Hey, Snips.
Right. And this better not be like...
Didn't expect to see you here so soon.
This better not be like the beginning of The Last Jedi. Where it's like, oh my gosh, we end with like what words are about to be uttered next. And
what's really crazy is we only get 6 episodes of this, right? Is it 6? Am I wrong? I feel like it's 6.
It's either 6 or 8.
It better be 8 because we're already at 4. And the bad guys just left, and we haven't even met Thrawn yet.
It is 8. It is 8.
Good.
Yeah.
Because things are going to feel really rushed if they're going to try and tie up some ends here.
Yeah, so we are halfway through.
Yeah, I feel like they're not going to tie up a lot of ends. There's going to be a lot of loose ends, a lot of...
Well, intentionally, right? Because they're building up for that movie.
Yeah, that's where I was leading to. Like some very intentional, dramatic cliffhangers leading to another. Are they doing? They're doing like another episode of Mandalorian and then the movie, or is it the other way around?
I think there's because I think the movie's last, right? Because it's supposed to just wrap everything up.
Right, so another episode, another season
of Mando for whatever godforsaken reason, and then yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So was this episode a winner or fail for you?
This was great. Lots of great stuff in this episode. This show is everything Star Wars should be.
Yeah. Me too. Because you weren't going to ask. So.
I was about to ask you. I was about to say I'd ask you, but I already know your answer because it's the same as mine. So let's just move
such on. A win. Such a win. Oh my gosh. Like, man. And I didn't it was a shock. It was a shock. I had not heard any rumors or inklings or whatever that Hayden Christensen was going to show up in this.
Yeah, me either.
Like none. So that's really cool. Really, really cool. I am longing for traditional Star Wars though. Like it's something I've been thinking watching this show. I'm enjoying this. This is great. And there's all kinds of world building and there's all kinds of whatever. And Anakin showing up definitely makes it feel more like intertwined with the cinematic story, the episodic chronology of Star Wars. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, we don't want another Rey movie, we don't want whatever. No, I hope, and I know they've said they're not going to, and I'm hoping that the new person that comes in after Kathleen Kennedy will be like, nah, to hell with that, this is what we're doing, let's do it. I want the next Rey movie to be Star Wars Episode 10. With an opening crawl and all of this world building stuff, this elsewhere in the galaxy, elsewhere and whatever, it's all great. But all of this other world building stuff also just, instead of progressing the story of Star Wars, which has always been about the Skywalker lineage, about the Jedi and the state of the Jedi and the fight between light and dark. Instead of progressing that story, all of this other stuff, Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Andor, it just kind of, it's as good as it is, it's also just kind of universe bloat, right? We're just adding world building. We're just fleshing out other stories in other places, and I'm just so ready for the next chapter.
Yeah, this one, this and the Mandalorian are doing that. At the same time, they're trying to explain some of the reasons why the galaxy's in the state it was at the beginning of the
for sure.
Sequel,
for sure.
Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
but you know what I mean? Like, I'm ready
not
for
going nowhere, but yeah.
I'm ready for a movie where I know it's going to be about Jedi and Sith. I know that R2-D2 and C-3PO are going to show up because it's the next episodic film. Right? Like, I'm just ready for the next Star Wars. So,
right.
But I do love this. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, listed down below. Check out our Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show, and we even throw you some fun kickbacks in return. And yeah, that's it.
Did you mention the merch?
No, I was and we have merch.
Yeah, we got merch.
Just throwing you a curveball.
We got this really cool mug that'll have, if you follow our show, especially the Andor series, it's got a little inside joke on it that only you and anybody else who's listened to it will understand.
Yeah. Empires and spoons.
Yes. Everybody's soup.
Everybody's soup. All right. Until next week.
Bye.
I mean, you can look forward to this coming out this weekend. Pete and I are back at our movie reviews. We're reviewing the 1990 Stephen King adaptation of Misery, which I'm very excited for.
Miserable.
I'm very excited for it just because I know Pete's gonna hate it. Brienne had a theory. Brienne was saying to me today, she's like, do you think people have just started voting on the film that they think Pete will want to watch the least? And I said, I don't know, but I hope so. I hope so.
All I know, because what year is that? That's 1990,
yeah.
All I know is I enjoyed the Rocketeer episode. That was pretty cool. I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. It makes me want to go back and watch it. But there is you've gone through the 90s now pretty much, and there is a distinct lack of classic action films in there. And
I mean, we've put them up as vote options.
Even when they show up, they never get voted on.
No, they don't perform well.
I'm very disappointed in you and Pete for not putting them up more, and disappointed in the listeners for not voting on them.
Well, now we're going to be into 80s action flicks, so it's all good.
Yeah, but it's going to be the same thing. Pete's going to pick some two posh films that I've never watched or care about, and you're going to pick two that are funny, goofy, or horror-based that I've heard of and may have watched, and there's going to be nothing. Yeah. Like, how did Dances with Wolves not win? Like, that's an amazing flick. It's so good. I wouldn't call it an action flick, but it's close enough that